This presentation may contain forward-looking statements that involve various risks and uncertainties. Actual results may differ materially and should not be relied upon in making purchase decisions. In today's demo, Eric will show how to improve the developer experience by automating the creation and approval of change requests to remove friction points between development and operations. He'll show how operations gets complete visibility and traceability into the important artifacts along our software delivery pipeline while providing resilience at the operational level. And he'll show a single place to gain insights into how the implementation is going and how the DevOps application teams are performing. Eric, I'm sure everyone is ready to see your demo.
So let's begin. Our developers like to write code, but they like to work in their own tools. Developers don't want to be forced to open change requests, and they don't want to wait for weeks for a CAB meeting to get those change requests approved. Our developer goes into Jira and looks at the backlog of issues. He sees that there's a story to create a job search page. The story number is COR-2. He then goes into GitHub to make the changes to the code to add the new job search page. When he's done coding, he commits the change in GitHub, associating the Jira story number. Now that the developers committed the code change in GitHub, all of the appropriate information is automatically transferred to ServiceNow. From the pipeline for the CorpSite app, the DevOps manager can now see that there are 4 steps. The first 3 steps are automatically executed. And when he opens the prod deploy step, he can see that the code change process is under change control. And by opening the pipeline UI, he can get complete visibility into the pipeline, including all of the artifacts related to the change. In the pipeline, the DevOps manager sees that there's a change request that has been created prior to the prod deploy step. When he opens the change request, he can see that the category and the model are DevOps, and that the change request has been automatically closed. So now he wants to know why it was automatically closed. Reviewing the planning information, he sees that there are no associated incidents or outages or other change requests related to the main configuration item of rewards processing or any other affected CI or impacted services. This change request was approved by him, but he did not do this manually. By going to the Applied Change Policies tab, he can see that this change request met all the DevOps policies requirements, so it was auto-approved. He can also see all of the Jira stories related to this change, all of the commit artifacts related to this change, as well as the test cases and their individual results. And because the change met all the DevOps policies and was automatically approved, the final step of prod deploy was automatically completed as well. The developer did not have to provide the DevOps manager any additional information. The developer did not have to wait weeks to go to a CAB meeting to defend this change. And the DevOps manager had everything he needed related to this change to feel comfortable that this change will not cause any problems in his environment. Later that day, the developer makes a second code change. The DevOps manager looks at the pipeline UI and sees that the first 3 steps are automatically executed as well. But he sees that the 4th step, the prod deploy step, has not been executed. So he opens up the change record. Here he sees that the change record is in a state of assess and awaiting approval. And under the Applied Change Policies tab, he can see that this change did not meet all the approval policies and requires a manual review. So he wants to know why. He scrolls back up to the CorpSite service and wants to see if there are any other active tasks related to this service. He sees that there is another change request opened for this service, but more importantly, there are 5 active incidents related to this service. This is why the change requires manual review and approval. While the DevOps manager is reviewing the change request, the developer opens Jenkins and sees that the pipeline has not fully committed. Only the first 3 steps have executed. After reviewing the other change request, the 5 incidents, and all of the commit artifacts related to this change, the DevOps manager feels comfortable to approve this change. As the workflow is processing the change, he can see that the state goes from assess to scheduled to closed. He can go back to the pipeline, and when the workflow is completed, see that the final step, the prod deploy step, has been executed as well. And when the developer opens Jenkins again, he can see that the pipeline has been fully executed as well. Now that 2 code changes have been approved and executed, the DevOps manager wants to see performance metrics related to the corp site app. On the Accelerate Metrics tab, he sees some good news. He has a large number of successful deployments with a low average lead time. But there could be some bottlenecks in the process as the mean time to resolve is much higher than the average lead time. And the change failure rate is fairly high as well. So this could be a concern. The DevOps manager then goes to the Commit Insights tab. And here he sees that there are 36 active committers, with an average commits per committer of about 7 and average files about 3. But concerning to him are the percent of commits that have to be reverted. This is something that definitely needs to be reviewed. He then goes to the Development tab and sees that the commit frequency is trending down. This is something he needs to bring up to the development leaders. He then goes to the Change Acceleration tab and sees that the change request volume has been pretty steady, that they're closing these change requests in 1 day, and the success rate is almost 90%. Still some room for improvement, but that is really good compared to the non-DevOps changes. And under deployments, he can see that there has been 226 successful deployments related to the corp site app, and more importantly, 0 failed deployments. But under stability, he sees that it's over a day for the mean time to resolve. But more importantly, this number is going up over time. So this is something that needs to be addressed. And finally, on the System Health tab, he can see that the number of task executions and the task execution success rate have been steady. But the success rate is at 85%, so there is a lot of room for improvement here. The DevOps manager, after reviewing all these tabs on the DevOps Insights dashboard, now feels really good about the DevOps change process in his environment. But he has seen specific areas of improvement that can be addressed with each of the teams.
Eric, thank you so much. That was incredible. So what Eric showed today was how DevOps can improve the developer experience by automating the creation and approval of those change requests. He also showed how operations through the DevOps manager gets complete visibility and traceability into the important artifacts along the software delivery pipeline. And he showed a single place for the DevOps manager to gain insights into how their implementations are going and how their teams are performing. For more information, check out the solution page at servicenow.com/products/devops.html. Thank you so much for joining us today.